Hey y'all, I'm Byron.
And I'm Margaret, and we'd like to welcome you back to the Beyond I Do podcast.
In this episode, we will discuss finances and effects of money on marriage. Our primary resource for this episode is an article from Investopia.com called The Top 6 Marriage Killing Money Issues by James McWhinney.
Before we get started, we do want to make this disclaimer. We are not marriage counselors, nor are we mental health professionals. We are simply sharing with you what has worked in our marriage. So let's get on to the show. In the article, McWhinney lists 6 money issues that can damage marriage. So we wanted to discuss those 6 issues as well as how we've handled them within our marriage. We definitely recommend you take a look at the article and the tips the author includes on how to prevent these issues from damaging your relationship. And we'll have a link for the article posted on our social media pages as well as the episode page on our website. All right, let's get to it. Number 1.
What's mine, yours, ours. Bill splitting. According to the article, this seems reasonable because bills are covered, but can lead to resentment or lead to what the author refers to as financial infidelity, where one spouse hides money from one another. And how we deal with that is everything is ours and has been since day one. We have one main checking account where we pay bills and get our direct deposits. Bills are paid out of that account. We have a few savings accounts, but both of us have access to them all.
So number 2 is debt, specifically individual debt incurred before marriage, which stays with the person after the marriage. Most debt incurred after marriage, except for childcare, housing, and food, is still owed just by that individual, except in Arizona, California, Nevada, Idaho, Washington, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, and Wisconsin. According to the article, these states are community property states where debt incurred after the wedding is automatically shared. Mm-hmm. For us, we were very open and honest in the beginning about debt and about our credit when we came into our marriage.
Yeah.
We were young, so there wasn't a lot of credit. There was a lot of debt.
Yeah.
Unnecessary, ridiculous debt. But we worked together to get those things clear for each other, basically. Everything went into one pot, and we used that to clear up those debts. For me, that was an uncomfortable thing because of the shame and guilt with the spending, and that was from just the way that I was raised and some generational curses that needed to be broken. So I didn't have to worry about learning to budget or anything because if I didn't have enough money at the end of the month, I had mama and grandmama and daddy. So that became an issue because I didn't learn how to manage those things.
And I think the thing too, I know for me, my parents taught me to work and save your money. But they didn't, I had a bank account, but, nobody taught me, okay, you put this percentage here, save this amount. It just said work and save your money. So, if I was in control of it, it was just like, well, I'll get paid next week, so I'll spend it.
Yep. And
plus, too, when Mike got really, I could go to my dad and be like, hey, I need $5 to put some gas in the car or something, $5 went a long ways back in the 90s, boy. Great day. She had them $5 gas prices now. Anyway, All right, number 3, money personality. Know and be honest about spending habits. Recognize weaknesses and address them. We took the 5 money personality quizzes on 5moneypersonalities.com, and our results were Margaret, spender/risk taker. Me, Byron, saver/risk taker. That don't even sound right. Saver/risk taker. We both know weaknesses with money, and we share things we learn regarding finances. We both have been upset with each other's spending habits from time to time, but have learned to discuss and not hold on to resentment. That sounds about right.
I mean, yeah. I'm more of a spender in terms of, well, I tend to like stuff more than you do.
I like stuff. It's just specific. Well, it's specific stuff. Like, my stuff might be, parts for the car, or, I'm not really, dressy. You buy all my clothes, so every now and then I might buy me some shoes. But when it comes to wardrobes and things like that, that's not me. I'm not that concerned. I'll wear the same shirt until the hole wears in it. But my probably car parts, tools, things like that. That's where probably where the bulk of my personal spending might go into, because I'm a tool fanatic.
Yep. Number 4, power plays. This happens when one of these 4 situations occur. Either one partner has a paid job and the other doesn't. Both partners would like to be working, but one is unemployed. One spouse earns considerably more than the other. Or one partner comes from a family that has money and the other doesn't. For us, we have both been wanting to work, but one was unemployed. We have both been working, and I have still make considerably less. And we've also had situations where I was a stay-at-home mom and you were the sole provider.
Yeah.
And I struggled some with that, feeling like I wasn't contributing, so I had to be mindful of spending. But that came from me and from society and from family, not necessarily from you.
Everybody had their comments.
Right. Right. So those were things that we learned to talk through and were able to move forward. And like I said, I still, even now, make considerably less.
Well, I remember thinking, back to when we discussed, you finishing your education and I'll just work, and, that was a decision we made, and, we had resentment from family members and friends. We've always heard, well, it takes 2 these days. And I just, thinking back on it, I'm kind of, I'm glad we did make that decision because, who knows what kind of a job situation would have been like. And now that you have a career or something that, you've been doing for a long period of time, and, it has contributed to our growth substantially.
Because before that,
well,
I was like Rochelle on Everybody Hates Chris.
Yep.
I don't need this job.
But I think that was probably one of the wisest things is, somebody, because I think we looked at it too, because I know at one point in time we were talking about not staying in the area. Mm-hmm. When we talked about moving, and we were like, well, somebody needs to have a career. So, in case we do move, then, you can go into a field and, gain work, faster. So I think that was the mind thought, but I'm so glad we did that, And
one thing that we focused on overall was that we're building together.
Yeah.
So we never looked at individual income as just belonging to the individual. It's we're building together.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how much I make. I just, on time, I pay attention to that mess. It's tax season. That's it. I don't be studying that mess because, it's all one pot at the end of the day. So as long as the whole family is secure, that's my main concern. So.
And that brings us to number 5.
All right. Children.
Good Lord.
Oh, Lord. The cost of raising a child to the age of 18 in the United States, according to a U.S. Department of Agriculture report released in 2017, is $233,610. The amount given is up to 18 years old, but that doesn't mean it stops then.
It does
really
not.
Doesn't. Oh, my God.
Oh, it doesn't.
And, man, what is it, 25 and 21, it ain't stopped.
Oh.
I think we passed that amount. We try to balance our needs with helping the kids, but it's a struggle to maintain sometimes. And boy, let me tell you something. These kids in these cars have probably been the most challenging because, I had a person at work tell me a long time ago, said, when kids start driving, boy, they gonna tear something up, and I ain't believe them. I was like, no, not my children. They both have tore some cars up. So, oh my goodness, and repairs. Oh my goodness.
Everything.
Everything.
Still.
They want. They still acting like they 12, 13 years old.
When it's convenient.
Yeah, when it's convenient, but quick to tell you how grown they are.
But that's another story for another day.
All right. Well, we ain't going to talk about children no more because that's bothering me. So, on to number 6.
And finally, number 6, extended family. Co-managing finances and respecting goals, needs, and expectations of each spouse is hard sometimes, especially when there are family members or friends who need help. Throughout our marriage, we have helped others. We have helped some more than others, and unfortunately,
needed to be helped beyond needing help, but
unfortunately, we learned the hard way that we have to focus on our family first.
Yes.
And so, after some of those hard lessons, that is what we started to do, and we have to take care of us before others. Another thing is just being open and honest with each other in regards to helping others, because that not only becomes a money issue, but then that also dips into communication and honesty.
Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to, you got, mom and daddy or sister and brother might need some help periodically. If they call you and be like, hey man, I need to borrow however much amount, talk it over with your spouse. That will save you some trouble, because the last thing you want them to see is money going out of the account, and they're like, well, or getting a surprise, but you lent such and such $50 and you didn't say nothing to me. That can bring some resentment. Just be mindful of that. And it, y'all can agree. Now, I'm just a little sidebar. We get asked things sometimes. Somebody come to me with full amount. I talk to her and be like, well, we'll come up with an amount that we can give, because, sometimes it just be like, man, it'd be the same people sometimes coming to you for the same thing. It's like, dang, I just
Oh, I'm at a point in my life where
Yeah.
it's no, I don't have anything
and
for that.
definitely at this point, I'm like, I ain't got it, bro. It's just, man, what you talking about? But
I've learned the hard way.
Yeah, we learned the hard way. I mean, and it just really takes time, especially it can be touchy when it comes to family, like I say, because you want to help and you want to do things for them, but you have to look at your finances and your situation first. Do that, and if there's something left over, if you feel it in your heart, help them out. But don't feel bad if you have to tell them no. And don't feel bad if you can't help them. That's not your responsibility. I mean,
obligated to our unit first.
Help is supposed to be temporary. It shouldn't be, I'm helping you all the time. But some people, they need help all the time. All the time. Like, I just helped you last week. I just helped you 2 weeks. Then what kills me are the ones that, need some money. They ain't paid you a dime but call you again and need some more money. Like, God, dog. Anyway, I can talk about that forever, so.
Yep.
All right, now it's for our Let's Discuss It topic. Our topic is maintaining a secret bank account justifiable?
Okay, so there was a post on social media, and the post was, it was posted by the woman, the wife.
Mm-hmm.
She said that her husband works. She's a stay-at-home mom. She says that he is the most unselfish person that she knows. She handles the finances, but he is the sole provider.
Mm-hmm.
And he has never acted like it is just his money. He says it's our money. So at some point, she got a job online behind his back and opened up a bank account that he did not know about. And so she's been working online and putting money into this bank account. And he found out about it. And understandably, he was upset.
Yep.
And he said that her having this side job in the bank account was the equivalent of him having a side chick. I left out an important part. I'm sorry. She says the purpose of the money and keeping the money in the bank account is just in case they get a divorce.
Yeah.
And so then he says that basically that her having the bank account is the equivalent of him having a side chick. So she says, my mom raised me to have a secret stash that my husband doesn't know about. Is this wrong or is my husband right?
Man, it gives me the thought of, okay, this young man worked and said, I'm gonna take care of the family, everything is ours. Now, she started the bank account, started the job, didn't tell him, then started the bank account, didn't tell him, and he found out about it. So now they're in a state of distrust.
Yep.
So, was that money worth it? That's what, she needs to look at. And from his perspective, he's probably thinking, I would be thinking like, well, there's some things that I wanted to do, but, I couldn't do it because, I was focused on the family.
Right.
So, I'm sure, he has the right to feel whatever way he feels, but, that wasn't a smart thing. I mean, I'm sure had she come to him and been like, I got this job, I want to start putting some money to the side, and they could have came together with a reason.
Right. Right. I know at one point, and this was right after I graduated college. So we had been married about 3 years, going on 3 years. And my mom said to me when she found out that I was going to, no, it was after I graduated. I had been working. Right. Yeah. We had both kids at that point. And I told her that I was going to quit and stay home. And she said, well, what if something happens between the two of you? And I said to her, please don't plan for my divorce.
Yeah.
I would rather prepare for my marriage.
Yeah.
So we had the makings of that scenario, but I wasn't willing to put energy into that. And I know that some people do, and some people have separate accounts, and that's fine. But I also know for me, trust is a big, big issue. And that's a quick, easy way to lose my trust. And it's not very easy to regain my trust. So that, to me, the lack of trust, I don't know if I would be able, if I were him, I don't know if I'd be able to be right with her anymore.
That's that's kind of trying it. And, depending on how long they've been together, depending on how long they've, depending on how long they've been together, what they've shared, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to come back from. I think they could work through it, but
But and like you said, he's been sacrificing.
Yeah.
And maybe didn't have to quite as much. So there's an element of selfishness in it also, because you're prepared. You're saying that this man is a good man. He's a good provider, but you're preparing just in case. So I don't know. I don't particularly care for her.
Yeah.
I don't know who she is, but I don't really like her.
Think that she can make it right is get that man around the golf or whatever he likes, buy him a motorcycle here.
Anyways, so we have a continuation of this discussion on our YouTube channel. Make sure to visit our channel and watch the video where we discuss this a little bit more, and watch some of the other videos that we have posted. Thank y'all so much for joining us for episode 4 of the Beyond I Do podcast.
Please join us next time for episode 5, Friends with Benefits, where we'll discuss what we consider to be the benefits of marriage.
In the meantime, please make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and comment to let us know if you think stashing secret money is equivalent to having a secret lover. Also, join us on YouTube for an extended session of our Let's Discuss It topic, where we will discuss financial infidelity. Till next time,
we will holla at y'all.